Alright everybody, it's Black Jesus here. I had some friends ask about what loadouts I use, so welcome to Warzone Loadouts. Let's check it out. So there's a few guns here that I like to mix up, but they're generally about the same. FJX Horse. So for the FJX Horse, we're going to use the Jack Skimitar kit. Okay. We also use high grain munition rounds, paracord grip. If you don't want to use the paracord grip, another good one is either the DR6 handstop or the XRK Edge. You got the Quartermaster muzzle. Now, before the Quartermaster, there are some different ones you can choose between, whether it was the Stir 45 or the Zeman compensator. I tested out the Jack BFB, but that was more so for assault rifles, but you can use that on there too. Other than that, I use an optic. Reason why is because, save that again. The reason why is because I do not like shooting it off the iron sight alone. I just feel like it shoots a lot better with having a sight compared to iron sights. I'll show you the difference though, so you can see what I'm talking about. So, not too bad. I just feel like when I'm in an actual fight, it works better for me. But by all means, if you'd rather use, if you take off the optic, you can probably get away with the Ripper light stock. I think that works well for some people. Otherwise, no stock if you want to go pretty fast for movement. Next gun. This one's my favorite gun here, the MTZ 556. So for the MTZ 556, I've played around with it a little bit. Using it as a long-range AR, kind of like a mid-range, faster movement AR, and you can even use it as a short-range. I wouldn't say in competition with submachine guns, but I'd say it's kind of up there as well. You just have to build it accordingly. So for this one, we have the MTZ Clinch Pearl Barrel. You got the Quartermaster suppressor. That's pretty much what you're going to use on most of your guns when it comes to muzzles these days. Now the underbarrel, I'm using the Bruin Heavy support. Another one you can use is the paracord. I've seen that. I'm not the biggest fan of it. You can also use the Kimuras. Either or would be fine. The vertical grip is the better one if you're using it for this gun. If you're using like the Superi, for example, then the Spheric is probably the better option. Other than that, 50 round drum, Jack glassless optic. Another optic I like is the Nadar or the MK3. Now for munitions, if you wanted to lose the underbarrel, now this is where like those different classes come in. If you wanted to lose the underbarrel, you can go into your high grain rounds, or you can drop the optic and go for the high grain rounds. But this is the build that works best for me. But if you wanted to check it out, you can see how this looks too. I'll show you guys. It's more of an aggressive run in compared to that. I use the Bruin support heavy when I'm usually chilling out in the iron sight to chill out and do some longer range fights, but once you get warmed up, you're usually pretty alright. Alright. Next class. Now this is the meta class. This is the ones that you're going to see on most of the players that you kill. It's the STG-44 and the Static Hy-V. So let's start it up. So for the Static Hy-V, Quartermaster suppressor, no surprise. Barrel. Now, when it first came out, people were using the Auger 840. You probably still use that. Garrett 8 is what most people have moved over to. I wouldn't be surprised if they start playing around with these other ones as time goes on. Paracord underbarrel, that's pretty standard. Now, before we jump into this one, Optic, I use the Nadar. This gun, I don't play around with. I don't like the iron sight on it at all. If I pick up someone else's and I have to use it in a battle, that's one thing. But I absolutely strongly recommend using an optic if you play the way that I do, because I can't get over that, and I'll show you the difference there. Now, overpressured. Not a lot of people mess with munitions these days for some reason. If it's not high velocity, or back in the day, or if it's not the high grain, then they leave it alone. Overpressured, a buddy of mine showed it to me, Goldie, that you guys see me play with from time to time, for target flinch. If you're ever in a battle, right, and you feel like someone's gun is just hitting you hard, like really hard, to where you can't shoot back, or your instinct is to run, more than likely they're running overpressured. So I would highly recommend testing that out. As you can see, this gun just bleeds through them tremendously. Now, without the iron sight, I can't do it. It's too small for me. You see, if you watch it, you gotta be playing like that, but that's not how you're battling. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to stick and move. You're trying to get in there. I can't be trying to autocorrect my aim and figure out where the iron sight is. I just can't do it. It doesn't work for me. Now, if it works for you, great. I just cannot. Now, there's another build for this. This other build here is a hip spread build, and that's another thing that I have not seen people play with. Let me see if this is the one. This one is probably it. Let's test it out. Now, this one, as you can see, this one, as you can see, no iron sight, because it's not built for that. Put it in tack spread. If I had more ammunition, you'd see what I'm talking about. Almost better than some of the ARs. Now, let me show you this build. For this build here, quartermaster muzzle. That's where that Auger 840 comes in for the barrel. Overpressured on the ammunition, but rear grip, we're gonna go with the Thar V 1.2 grip for the hip fire. And for stock, you're gonna use the l3lack Hive. Now, when you're running it normally, you'll either want to use the spry, or I've seen some people run no stock. I can't do that, but that's for the hip fire. Another thing you can do is you can drop the overpressured. If you feel like that's not hitting straight enough for you, you drop the overpressured, and you put on, I believe it's the Kimura laser light is a good one for this. And you'll see what this looks like now. The only thing I don't like about it too much is the laser. The other one that you can use, let's see here. We'll look through some of them together. Point G, yeah, this is the one here. I don't know why it's not saved. Oh, I can't save it. That's weird. See, this one's a little bit better. Just for me, I don't like the laser. This one is laser without aiming in. Once you aim in, you lose it. Good for sprint to fire, that's why I use this one. The thing about tack spread is you gotta be prepared. You gotta be prepared when you're running tack spread. If there's an option in here, I'll show it to you right now too. Normally, what you'll do is you'll aim in, you'll press the down directional pad, the arrow, and that's how you're going to tack spread. But you change it in your settings so that you just double tap L1, ready to go. A lot better. But you still got to be prepared for that, or you just got to be running it like this all the time. And I'm not a player that likes to run with this all the time, because you never know what kind of situation you're going to be in. And even though this hits, even though you can hit with tack spread, It's just a risk you may not be willing to take in some moments, especially if I know I can aim down and track a lot better with it because I'm prepared. It's just, it really comes down to preference. Now for the STG, normally it'd be quarter suppressor. That's what everyone's running now. I actually like the VT7 Spiritfire a little bit better. The Heinrichter barrel, that's the new barrel everyone's using. Beforehand, it was the Ferng. Heinrichter is pretty good. Then you want the optic to be the Nidar. You want that stock to be the DR79 combo stock. That seems to be the one that everyone's using. I haven't seen anybody play around with these other ones yet. I may. But the DR79 is pretty reliable. 50-round drum. And this is how it shoots. Ooh. Now, I have seen some people with a build using the paracord. I'm not a big fan of the paracord. I feel like it's supposed to help your horizontal recoil, but I feel like it actually worsens it. I'm not sure how that goes or how or why that would be, because there's no negatives on it. But I just can't get with it. Otherwise, last build, the BP50. I've been using that recently. Quartermaster. Lore 9 barrel. Paracord for this one because I can rock that. 45 round mag. And your Moat 40 stock. No sight for that one because I don't need it. And it is just beautiful. The only thing about it is you run through those bullets pretty quick. And you only have 45 rounds. I think everybody pretty much agrees though when it comes to the BP50. You can pretty much use it as a AR or submachine gun. Either way, it runs good. When it comes to the AR side, I don't think it's as good as the MTZ or the STG, obviously, but it's up there if you want to try something a little bit different. But here comes my favorite, Superi. I love the Superi. They nerfed it a bit, but it's still hitting for me. So I use the Jack Cutthroat for the stock. That's for my movement. 40 round mag, paracord underbarrel, Zulu Op 3 light barrel, quartermaster muzzle. Now, this one just comes down to preference. This one, even though they nerfed it, even though there's the better one in the HV static, there's just nothing like running that Superi. It's just a beautiful gun. Obviously, I spent a lot of time with it, but I love it. And those are my builds, man. Those I have some different ones as well. For the Superi, I have a hip fire spread build for that one as well. I'll show you guys that. This one is more of like a fun build, though. It's not to be taken too seriously. It's just if you get tired of playing the normal way, you want to have some fun, you find yourself in an easier lobby, this is good to use too, and I'll show you the build for that. That one's got the quartermaster muzzle, the Bore 99 short barrel, Bruin Bastion angle underbarrel, 40 round, and the F-Tac Grimline. This laser here, I think this laser is pretty slept on. I don't know why people haven't tried to unlock it and get that one in there, but F-Tac Grimline is a good one for that sprint of fire as well, because you never know what kind of battle you're going to find yourself in. Those are my guns, boys. I usually stay on top of the updates when it comes to patches, nerfs, buffs, whatever may have you. If any of those pop up, I'll show you guys some different loadouts that I have, but those are my mains that I run. Appreciate you guys for watching.